Hey, what's up everyone? It's Champion 2D Rob back again, guys. And as you can see, I am much better compared to how I was feeling in my last video, guys. I honestly don't know what was happening there because I was supposedly feeling better, and then I guess I misjudged how much I could talk without coughing and stuff. And then of course the eyes watering didn't help because of that irritating eye I had, and it just sort of all came sort of crashing a little bit towards the end of that video. But honestly, guys, thank you everyone that was wishing me, hoping I'd feel better. I am very much so. Yeah, so feeling a lot better, guys. Yeah, so I wanted to put out another video. Again, this is another pickups, of course, and this is just basically a select bunch of stuff, more modern stuff this time. I've got so much stuff to show you guys. So, but I don't want to sort of make these videos too long, so I sort of bunch them up into small little portions, and then I'll just sort of put them out as and when. More retro will be coming very soon, but this is mostly sort of modern stuff. So Switch mainly, but also some PlayStation 4 and 3DS. So moving along very quickly, guys, I'll actually start with the 3DS game. And some of you that follow me on Instagram will have seen this. But on the swap shop, Lee's Swap Shop, I actually managed to get this from James, aka Sweet Radish Gaming. Please check his channel out, guys. He's been around for a minute now, so if you've not subbed to James, Sweet Radish Gaming, I will drop a link to his channel below. Definitely check him out, guys. Very nice guy. And so he showed this on the swap shop, and I immediately jumped on it because, well, I don't really pick up for the 3DS anymore. This actually was one title I wanted to get, but unfortunately the game had shot up in price, and yeah, I was just really bummed out by that, because I sort of ignored it back when it was available. But I realized that on the 3DS I really wanted to check it out for its own 3D features. I wanted to see it, and I'm a big fan of the series as well. So the game that I bought off James was Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater 3D. So very chuffed to get this one, as this would actually be I feel for me, would be the last sort of major game that I need for the 3DS. So very happy to get this off James, and honestly it's in lovely condition. Very happy with it, and James gave me a very fair price as well. So thank you so much, James, for this, mate. Really chuffed with it. And yeah, I mean, this basically for me makes it the end of my 3DS collecting. I mean, I'm sort of thinking about what else I might need to get, but I pretty much have all of what I want. So this was sort of the last sort of major one that I felt I needed. So very happy to finally get this one in the collection. So yeah, so thank you, James, and thank you, Lee, and the swap shop, man. Awesome. So definitely check out the swap shop, guys. Last Sunday of every month. Definitely check it out. So yeah, chuff with that one. And I think we'll move on to a couple of PlayStation 4 games. This one I bought off Red Art Games. I had this actually on pre-order for a long time. Now, at the time that I pre-ordered this, there was no Switch version available, and looking back, I probably would have gone for the Switch version. And I almost decided to cancel this one and swap it over, because much later on, a Switch version did become available to pre-order. But the reason why I kept the PlayStation 4 version was because it actually came with a pre-order bonus, which was a CD soundtrack. And I was informed that if I changed to the Switch version, I would lose that soundtrack. So I decided to stick with my PlayStation pre-order. And the game I got from Red Art is Helvetii. So if you guys don't know about Helvetii, this is essentially a 2D action hack and slash game. I haven't played it yet, it's still sealed, but it's if I would liken it to any game, I've been told it's similar to like Muramasa the Demon Blade. It's that kind of game. and it looks awesome. I will be dropping some footage here. I'm sure you'll take a look at some footage. But really excited to get into this game, man. And I've been informed that it's actually very, very good. Someone I actually follow on Twitter really likes this game, so I'm looking forward to giving this a go. And of course, it did come with a very nice 24-track soundtrack. I love getting soundtracks. I have to say, lately, when I look at collector's editions and stuff, I'm always looking out to see if it comes with a soundtrack. And for me, when it doesn't, it is a massive, massive downer when collector editions don't come with soundtracks, as I feel they're a must. I mean, I'm not necessarily big into gaming music, but it's just nice to have. I love having stuff like this now, and hopefully the music's really cool as well. So yeah, really chuffed with those. And the final PlayStation 4 game I'm going to show you guys here, and that is DNF Duel. Picked this up actually because it's actually been on my wish list for like a long time. I've been wanting to get this, but I just wasn't willing to pay the price for it. And this actually dropped down. I paid about £20 for it, 20 quid. And I'm looking forward to giving this a go. Not had a chance to try it yet, but you know, it's from Arc System Works, a 2D fighter. You can't go wrong really with Arc System Works. So really looking forward to giving this a go. I have noticed that this is actually getting a Switch release as well, but the Switch version is very expensive. It's about 50 quid, 40 quid, 50 quid. I'm not going to pay that. So yeah, nice to have it on PlayStation 4. Really, really chuffed to get it. Although I hate the fact that there is no version in this country that doesn't come with the German USK rating on it. I really can't stand this logo. Like honestly, like it's one thing that sometimes I refuse to like buy certain games from mainland Europe. It's just because sometimes they just come with this logo and it just gets on my nerves. But for some reason this one has it. But looking forward to giving this a go. Right now, so moving on to Switch. Just trying to keep it a bit brief here. I don't want to let it go on for too long. But let's start with the beast. And this one I actually got from Strictly Limited. And what I picked up was the anniversary Wonder Boy collection. So this is the one from Strictly Limited. It's got, I think it's got 21. So it's basically got 6 games, and but it's actually got 21 versions of those games. So there's a lot of stuff in here. And this was exclusive to Strictly Limited. So there are actually other Wonder Boy collections out there. So there's one that made it to retail, and there's another one that you can buy, you can get like in Asian regions, but they're not the same. They're actually missing games or missing versions of games compared to this Strictly Limited version. So yeah, so I initially passed up on this, and the standard copy actually sold out. And when I went on eBay, I noticed that the standard copy was just going for silly money. But on the Strictly Limited website, there were still collector editions available. So as you would imagine, that is what I got. I bought the Uber Collector's Edition. So obviously I've taken the game out. Here it is. And yeah, and it actually, for me, I mean, I wasn't really going to go after this. But on eBay, a standard copy was basically selling for the exact same price as this collector's edition. So for me, I was like, well, if they're going to sell it for that kind of money, then I may as well just go for the collector's edition on Strictly Limited and get all the goodies. So that's what I did. And to be fair, now, even though I'm not a big Wonder Boy fan, the stuff in here is fantastic. I might show some B-roll footage and give you an idea. But if not, there's some tons of stuff in here. There's art books, soundtrack, a bunch of other really nice stuff. Like I have to say, one thing I will say about Strictly Limited is their collector's editions are superb. Like I loved their Turrican collector's edition. I love the ones they did for Darius. Yeah, just brilliant. So I'm actually quite chuffed with it. The only thing is that like I'm getting a bit tight for space for these collector's editions, so I don't really want to make a habit of getting this sort of stuff. But I wasn't going to pay some scalper silly money for a standard copy, and thankfully there was still this version available. So grab it while you can, because I believe at the time of this video there are still some available. Okay, moving on from that, we've got one game here from actually no, not from Limited Run. I'll just get right. Let sirens go by. Okay, so the next one I've got here, this is a standard retail release, one I was excited to get when they announced this game. I had to jump on it, looking forward to it, and that is Kirby's Return to Dreamland. So this is a port of the Wii game that came out, and I love that Wii game, so I had to get this. I'm a big Kirby fan, so that was, for me, it's a no-brainer. This is an awesome, awesome entry in the Kirby franchise. Really was. For me, it was basically the first sort of the revamp of Kirby that eventually moved on to the 3DS, that carried on to the 3DS. So I'm glad this got a Switch re-release. Fantastic game. I actually recently just completed Kirby and the Forgotten Land, and that was a fantastic game. It really was. I loved it. So I'm looking forward to seeing more 3D Kirby. But I also want to see them to continue making 2D Kirby, because they are great games. I'm looking forward to put some time into this. So yeah, very chuffed with this one. And the next one here, now this one is a limited run release. I have been waiting for this one to get a physical release announcement for a long time. So while limited run would never be my first choice as a distributor, I'm always hoping it's going to be like Red Art Games or even Strictly Limited. But Limited Run got this one, and I had to jump on it because it really is a fantastic game. I do own it digitally on the PlayStation 4, but it's nice to finally get it on the Switch, which was a system I really wanted it for, and that is Mighty Goose. So this is a 2D run and gun style game, very much in the style of like Metal Slug. I mean, you can even see here on the picture, it is very Metal Slug inspired. It's a crazy game because you are playing as this goose, but it's a run and gunner, and it's very, very cool. So very chuffed to have this one, and yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome. I mean, if you like 2D run and gun action, you should definitely check out Mighty Goose. And also, as a pre-order bonus, I also got the soundtrack as well that came with it. So it was not, I love that every now and again Limited Run does release the standard edition copies with a CD soundtrack. As I really don't, sometimes I just don't want to get collector's edition, but like I do want the soundtracks to certain games, and this is a very cool one to get. So yeah, very chuffed with that. Moving on here, we've got some Switch imports. These are some Japanese imports, and this one I actually picked up. Now, very quickly, I'm a part of a WhatsApp group, a bunch of us YouTubers that are very much into our imports, and I noticed that this is actually getting a European release. But when I saw some of the goodies that came in this version, I had to get it, and it wasn't honestly that much expensive compared to a standard release. And it obviously this game is not even out yet here in Europe, but I just had to get the Japanese version because it's so cool, and that is Raiden 3. So this is Raiden 3 Mikado Mania. So it's a re-release of Raiden 3, one game that I've owned on the PlayStation 2 for a long time. I've always been a fan of the Raiden series. Ever since I was first exposed to the series on the PlayStation 1 back in the day. I remember I was renting the Raiden project, which had Raiden 1 and 2 on it. That was basically my first exposure to this series, and I absolutely adored it. I used to rent it a lot from Blockbuster. Of course, I own it now. When I first sort of started buying again for the PlayStation, it was actually one of the first games I wanted to get for it. But yeah, I love Raiden 3. It's awesome on the PlayStation 2. So to get this re-release, I was so happy. And this particular edition comes with a soundtrack. It also comes with multiple inserts, so you can have different covers to it as well. And I think there's some other goodies in here as well, but very, very cool this. Really, really chuffed. And like I say, it actually wasn't that much expensive compared to a standard release. But also, I ordered this from Amazon Japan, and I wanted to make a point. Now, I'm going to bring up another couple of games here, which I actually bought along with this. But I just want to say Amazon Japan is fantastic for importing games, especially if you order multiple games. And the reason for that is that you save so much money on shipping. You really do. And it doesn't matter if the games are on pre-order and if they're available now. And because they don't wait to group them all together, they will send them to you as and when they become available, but you only pay for one shipping, so you save so much money. And also the delivery is super fast as well. So guys, if you are looking to import, whether it be PlayStation 4 or Switch, and you're looking for a good import choice, Amazon Japan is a great place, guys. So definitely check it out. So along with this order, I also ordered the Cotton 16-bit tribute. So essentially this has two games. So it has Cotton 100% and Panorama Cotton, which I believe both were, I think one, Panorama Cotton I believe was a Mega Drive game that never made it to the West. And I believe Cotton 100%, I believe it's a PC Engine game, so it's essentially a 2D side-on. I'll try and put some gameplay here for you guys to check out. But it's a compilation of both games. Now, this did actually get a Western release through Strictly Limited, but the games were actually released separately. And I didn't want to do that. I didn't really like the idea of paying full price for both those games. So it was nice that this actually got a release with both games on it. So yeah, chuffed to get that. So that was all part of this order. And lastly, I also picked up Akai Katana, again for the Switch. So this is another shooter. I believe this was originally on the Xbox 360. Is it from Cave? Is it a Cave shooter? I can't remember. But yeah, again, this wasn't much more expensive than a standard release, which is why I went with this sort of more collector's edition. Again, it comes with a soundtrack and a bunch of goodies, so a really nice one to have. I also bought a couple of other games, some more shooters, but they're pre-orders, so they're coming later on in the year. But I only had to pay one shipping for all of this, and I saved a lot of money. So like I say, guys, if you are looking to get some imports, definitely check out Amazon. Amazon Japan is a great place if you're looking for some imports and you want to save some money. So yeah, really chuffed with those. Okay, and the final two games here. This is another one. Again, it's from Strictly Limited. And this is a game that honestly, when they announced it, caught me completely by surprise. But I was so happy because I've actually known about this game for many years. I discovered it on MAME, and I've always found it to be a great game. I never thought it would get a re-release. So I'm loving the fact that some of these old arcade exclusive games are actually getting modern day re-releases. It's fantastic, and this is a great one. This is a fantastic game, guys, honestly. But yeah, I won't keep you in suspense any longer. The game is Cannon Dancer. So this is Cannon Dancer, also known as Osman in Asian territories. So essentially what this game is basically a spiritual sequel to Strider. And like, I believe the history, I could be wrong, guys, so don't quote me on this, but I believe the person that originally made Strider actually went on to make this game. He wanted to make a sequel to Strider, but I think it was Capcom, no, Sega or Capcom, can't remember who, but they were not interested in making a sequel to Strider. So eventually he left the company and went to work for another company. Again, the name escapes me. But he finally got to make his sort of sequel to Strider, which was this game here. So it's very much a Strider game in every way. It's Strider, but it's sort of Strider on drugs. It's very crazy, very fast, very frenetic. It's a superb game, and I'm glad that it's got a second lease on life, because this was one of those games that unfortunately was stuck on arcades and never got a home port. Only way I ever played it was through MAME. It's a fantastic game, so very, very chuffed to get a physical release for this, and I jumped on it immediately. So if you're looking at sort of the cover art, this is actually the alternate cover. There actually was, take it out just to give you guys. So this was not the standard cover. The standard cover was this, but I didn't like it as much. So I went with the reversible instead, which I think is a lot cooler. So yeah, very, very chuffed to have this one. I was really happy. I've played it. It's awesome. It's a fantastic game. It's not available anymore. So again, you'd probably have to go through eBay, but otherwise download it, guys. But it's awesome. So yeah, very, very happy with that one. And finally, this one is a retail release, and it's a very cool one. I'm very glad to pick it up because yeah, I've played a bit of it so far, and I really do enjoy it. And that is Signalis. So for those of you that don't know, this is actually a top-down survival horror game, very much an old school Resident Evil game, but it's set in space. So it's kind of like a mix between Resident Evil and Dead Space. Very, very cool game, old school in style, a lot of fun. So if you like your survival horror games, guys, definitely check this one out. I'll probably stick some footage up here, give you guys an idea of what it's like. Very cool, had it on pre-order. I actually forgot I had this on pre-order. It kind of surprised me because it just sort of turned up at my house. I forgot I pre-ordered it. But yeah, very, very cool game. So one I'd recommend. And that is it, guys. I will be back very soon again. I've got to say, guys, I've got tons of stuff to show you guys. But expect not only pick up videos from me, I will be doing a couple of other videos just to kind of switch it up a little bit. But anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. I always do appreciate it. And of course, guys, you know, the algorithm, I don't know how good it is for me. So, you know, thumbs up, I always appreciate, guys. And of course, if you are watching and you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Check out my other content as well. Let me know as well what you think. I do love reading your comments, guys. So please leave me a comment as well. Let me know what you guys think. And I will see you next time. Bye-bye.